Hey everybody, it's me. I'm up here in the corner. See, there I am right up there. This video is here going to walk you through directions for Monday. So we're going to talk about what your job is for today. It's really only two things that I need to explain to you. First thing you're going to do is this What is Poetry website and Google form. That will help you respond to some things on the website, and then learn about some poetry terms and use a Quizlet to help you kind of internalize those terms. So first thing is the What is Poetry website. So down here on the calendar under activity, you'll click on this link that says What is Poetry website. Up here are all of these possible options for things that you can click on. And your job on this website is to answer the question, what is poetry? So let's look at the Google form to see how you're going to be responding. So again, back on the calendar, you can click on that Google form. This is what's going to help you track your thinking. So today our big job is just to try and figure out what the heck poetry really is, because it's sometimes a hard thing to define. So you'll come to this form, you'll put in your name, and then the first thing you do before you look at this website, before you do anything, you're going to respond to this question, which is, what do you think poetry is? Right? Sometimes it might be a hard question to answer. Okay, then your job is to come back to this website and explore some of these different links, right? So there's one that links you to like an ad for Coca-Cola. There's one over here that links you to something called Intro to Poetry. There's a thing called an epitaph, which is like what you'd see in a gravestone. There's an excerpt from Romeo and Juliet. Some of these things might be poetry. Some of them might not be poetry. Our job is to explore them and figure out if we think they're poems or not. So again, on the Google form, you're going to say, okay, well, the first thing I looked at is here. Here's what I noticed about it, right? So I noticed that it rhymed, or I noticed that it didn't rhyme, or I noticed that it had a simile in it, or I noticed that, whatever, right? And then you would come up with a verdict of what you think, is that poetry, is that not poetry, right? So you're going to do that 3 times. So you'll choose three of these options on the website up here, and you will fill that out 3 times to say, do I think it's poetry? Do I think it's not poetry? You'll click that next button. It'll walk you through a few other things, and you can kind of like come to the conclusion. There will be some final questions for you to answer as well. Okay. After you do that, you can come back here, and we want to define some poetry terms. So we have some notes that normally would go into our ISNs, but obviously that's not going to happen because we're not at school. But they're linked right here. They'll also be linked on Google Classroom, and then there's a screencast that will walk you through some of those definitions. So you'll watch that screencast. There's also a link to the slides that I'll cover in that screencast. And then when you are totally done with all of that, you can come down here to this Quizlet link. This has all the terms that are covered in that slideshow, and you can use any of these links on the side. You can play the games if you want to try them. You can test yourself, you can learn them, or you can just kind of click through them. It's not super crucial that you have every single one of them memorized today. It's more important that you know where the references are and what those words are, so you can where to find them, so you can always come back to them. Okay, so that's our job today. First thing, second thing, let me know if you have questions. Email me, reach out on Google Classroom. You know the drill.